welcome to our program, Astronomy for Everyone. Our program this month is going to be on Astronomy Day, an annual event held here in the U.S. and even around the world. This year's date will be Saturday, April 20th. And to make you aware of some of the events that are going on here in Southeast Michigan, I've had several guests join me for this show. With me here are representatives from both the Warren Astronomical Society and our own Ford Amateur Astronomy Club. Next to me, we have Diane Hall from the Warren Club. Diane, welcome.
Thank you.
And then next to Diane, we have Tim Campbell from the Ford Club.
Thank you.
And to my left, Gordon Hansen, president of the Ford Club. Gordon, welcome, and welcome all of our guests. This is really a very important day for us. We get to bring astronomy to the people, get out on the street and show them the wonders of both the day and the nighttime sky. We're going to start out our first part of the program with talking about daytime activities, and we'll start out with Diane from the Warren Club. Diane, what does the Warren Club do for Astronomy Day?
Well, we've had an extensive variety of activities that we've done for Astronomy Day in the past, culminating in a three-ring circus event, as I called it several years ago when I was the outreach coordinator, that we had two events in Oakland County and another one up in our observatory at Ray Township, Michigan. So we had three things going on. So we had three things going on one day. This year, we're doing something a little different. Traditionally, we have a daytime event at Cranbrook Institute of Science in West Bloomfield, which is our home institute. Our Monday night meetings on the first Monday of every month are hosted there. But this year, we are concentrating entirely at our observatory, Stargate, in Wolcott Mill Metro Park up there at 29 Mile Road in Romeo, because we are very excited to welcome the public to our fully refurbished observatory.
Oh, that's great.
We've done an extensive amount of work on the building, which was built in 1969, so it's been there for a while. And it has a new roof, a new floor, beautiful paint job, and quite possibly, if we're lucky, we will have our brand new 8-inch refractor telescope installed in there by Astronomy Day. The shipping date is supposed to be March or April, so we've got our fingers crossed that it'll be there in time.
I hope so. That would be quite an instrument to observe through.
Right. It would be astonishing. Right now we've got quite a nice instrument. We've got a 12.5-inch Cassegrain.
Okay.
But of course, for the daytime, most of the observing would be through members' own telescopes. So we have a variety of telescopes up there that we keep for the public, and we have many members who are very proud of their own instruments and are very happy to bring them out, set everything up around the dome, and share them with scout groups, other club members, and of course the public. So.
Great. Sounds like it'll be a very exciting time, especially since you're doing this at the observatory.
Yes.
During the day.
Yep. We've always had some going on there, but the main event during the daytime was always at Cranbrook, but this time we're just rolling out the carpet at Stargate and welcoming everybody to stay there, daylight till midnight, or actually you can stay there till dawn. And we'll be talking about that in a bit, I think.
Great. Yep. We'll talk about the nighttime activities shortly. Now, Tim.
Yep.
You're out at Kensington Metro Park with the observing effort out there for the Ford Club, if you could tell us about that.
So we meet out near the Nature Center in the park. So Kensington, for anyone who's not familiar with the park, Kensington is an enormously large park. So this is closer to the west side of the park. And it's literally right out in front of the Nature Center building itself. And some club members will show up with telescopes. And we'll have a variety of telescopes there. Because we're looking at the sun during the day, which I suppose that sort of surprises a lot of people that you would do astronomy during the day. Most people think of that as something that we only do at night, but we do it during the day. And obviously you don't need a particularly large instrument because primarily what we're looking at is the sun.
True.
So we usually use fairly small instruments for that. And I brought some things to show off.
Okay.
So first of all, I wanted to mention, we actually are using telescopes, and we're pointing the telescopes at the sun. This is normally not something we would regard as a safe activity. So we have these filters that we put on the front of the scope. These come in different types of filters. This one happens to be glass. If you look at it, it appears to simply be a mirror, and on both sides. And if you put this in front of a light bulb, you won't see anything at all. And if you think about the amount of light coming through as being photons, only about 1 in 100,000 can actually make it through a filter like this. And this renders the sun just a normal medium brightness that's comfortably safe to look at with your eye. We don't recommend that you use anything that wasn't specifically designed for solar use. There are things that appear to be safe, but they don't properly block in, for example, infrared, and you can go just as blind if that gets through as with the visible. So if you're ever thinking about doing this with an ordinary telescope, always make sure it's something designed to be safe. And I also wanted to show one extra thing. This is an example of what happens when you don't use proper safety equipment. This happens to be a finder scope. It's not actually a telescope. This would go on the side of a telescope. And there's a cap that we normally would put on the top of the finder scope. This telescope was pointed directly at the sun, and this cap was not on, but this back cap was. And we might be able to get a close-up of this. But this back cap has a hole melted through it. So just imagine if that were your eyeball. And this took just a few seconds to happen. So, so anytime you want to point something at the sun, you want to make sure it's absolutely safe.
Exactly. We do want to reiterate that quite a bit to our audience, that this is totally safe. There are safe ways to do it and not safe. So please don't try this at home yourself. We, as amateur astronomers, know how to do this, and so we want to make sure that the public is safe. And of course, everything that we do is safe to view for our public that comes out to this event. Anything else then at Kensington? Is there a time?
10 a.m. to, I believe, 4 p.m.
Okay.
are the hours for Kensington, out in front of the Nature Center. The event is completely free, other than the cost of getting into the park itself. That's just the normal admission for the park, and everyone is welcome. There will be a variety of telescopes for people to use, some of them very interesting that see fine details on the sun, normally not visible through filters like this. And I hope we'll have a great time, I think.
I hope so too. The last person we're going to talk to in this particular segment is Gordon Hansen, also from the Ford Club, I'm sorry. And you're down at the Michigan Science Center in Midtown Detroit.
Yes, we're excited to be back. I think everyone is aware that the Science Center has gone through some financial troubles, and it's now reopened and rechristened as the Michigan Science Center.
Yes, it is.
So once again, we will be out there on Astronomy Day, out on the corner of John R. and Warren, right on the street corner. So I don't see how we can get any closer to the public than that. And so people coming down to the Science Center will use a hook to try and grab them and show them our scopes, and just passerbys as they walk down the street. As Tim said, we'll have a variety of scopes out on the street corner. Filters like, as Tim showed, which are visible light, which allow you to see a good view of the disk of the sun. And hopefully we'll have some what are called hydrogen alpha telescopes that will allow us to see things happening on the edge, the eruptions or
flares,
whatever prominences that are coming off the side, which are always exciting to see.
Do you think we'll have some sunspots for folks to see?
I'm guaranteeing we're going to have nothing but clear skies the entire day. It's Michigan. What else would we expect?
A little inside joke, folks. Yeah. Again, the club will be out there for the time that the Science Center is open on Saturdays. I think it's 10 to 6.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be breaking up somewhere between the 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So that we can get to our nighttime activities, which we're going to talk about
in just a little bit. And of course, if you're just outside on the sidewalk with the telescopes, that is absolutely free. There's no cost for that. However, there's the admission cost to the Science Center if you'd like to go inside and see what goes on in there. They have a great planetarium with some very interesting shows that I'm sure you would enjoy. And what we're going to do right now is take a quick break. At the bottom of your screen, you can see our website. If you'd like to check that out for some more information about Astronomy Day. And right after Term of the Month, we'll be back with more about Astronomy Day. Stay tuned.
Good evening. I'm Ken Anderson, and tonight's term is Markarian's Chain. Officially, Markarian's Chain is a chain of 8 galaxies, all in common motion, and in larger telescopes you can see 16 and up to 80 galaxies in this chain. They're all part of the Virgo Coma cluster, which contains about 2,000 to 2,500 galaxies, all approximately 50 million light years away from us. Now, some of you know some of these members of the chain from Messier, who discovered M84 and 86 in 1781, and then the rest of them are from William Herschel in 1784. So you can see now this is Markarian's chain, and visually we're going to zoom in on the face, and you can see the face here. The two eyes are M84 on the right and M86 on the left. M84 is an elliptical galaxy, magnitude 9.3, apparent size 5 minutes by 4 minutes. Actual size is 100,000 light years and it's 55 million light years away. M86 is an elliptical spiral galaxy, magnitude 9.2. Size is 7 minutes by 5 minutes, or 142,000 light years. And now the other galaxies that make up the face are 4402, 4483, 4388, and the dimmer one is 4413. Now over to the left, M84 and 86 point to the eyes, and we're going to go to the eyes next. So these are the eyes, and together one looks like it's winking at you, and that is 4435. It's a bar lenticular type galaxy, also known as Secret Deep 55 from O'Meara's series. And the other one is 4438. It's a lenticular peculiar galaxy. That one is actually interacting with not the one that you see here, but it's interacting with M86, and it's connected like 20 minutes away. And that is one of the ARP galaxies. Now that one, 4438, is magnitude 10.2. It's 9 minutes by 4 minutes, 140,000 light years across, whereas the other one is magnitude 10.8, 3 minutes by 2 minutes. So now we're going to zoom out a little bit. So the eyes point the direction of where you're going to the chain, and we're going to zoom out to the overall chain, okay? And the next pair is 4461, or Secret Deep 58, and 4458. One of them is a lenticular galaxy, magnitude 11.2, okay? 4 minutes by 1 minute, 60,000 light years away. And then there's other galaxies that go out further than that, but the term of the month is American's Chain, and it's the best object in the sky in the spring.
Welcome back to our program. Our show for this month is about Astronomy Day, a very important day for amateur astronomers. This year it will be held on Saturday, April 20th. With me here in the studio are representatives from two of the area astronomy clubs. To my right, Diane Hall from the Warren Club. Farther to the right, Tim Campbell from the Ford Club. And to my left, Gordon Hansen, also from the Ford Club. In the first part of our program, we were talking about daytime activities that go on Astronomy Day. We're going to shift now to the evening part of the program, and that's the part that people more associate with astronomy. They don't sometimes think of daytime as a day to do astronomy, but we'll get into the nighttime activities, and we're going to start off with Diane Hall from the Warren Club. Diane, what do you have up your sleeve for the evening activities?
Well, Don, the nighttime is when the fun really begins at Stargate. Stargate is located, as I said, 29 Mile Road. It's in a part of Wolcott Mill Metro Park, the part that used to be Rotary Park. And we've been there for, well, since 1969, so we've been there a good long time. And public events are our mission there. Basically, it pays the rent. So
okay.
we always welcome people to Stargate. And Astronomy Day is no exception. We have the option of letting people stay there all night long. If you are in our party, you do have the option to camp. Now, there's not really much in the way of lodgings, but if you have a tent, you can pitch a tent, and if conditions are good, people are welcome to stay there, all night till dawn, and we've done that for meteor showers. So Stargate nights are pretty special, especially when it's clear, and on the best nights, we take out our 22-inch Dobsonian reflector, which is our club's current crown jewel. We call it the Big Dob, and the Big Dob will give people views of galaxies like they've never seen through any sort of backyard telescope. It is amazing. The first time I saw M51 through it, I felt like I was falling into it. And so many, many club members will have their own scopes available, plus those for the public to look through. But on a night when you can break out the 22-inch and share that with people, that is just really special.
It is an amazing instrument. So you'll be out there, since it's part of the Metro Parks, there is an entrance fee for the Metro Park?
Not in our part of the park. So It is free to the public.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
Right.
The rest of Wolcott Mill, the actual mill complex, is located a bit to the west, but you can just come in, drive in off 29 Mile. There's a sign that still says Rotary Park. Look for the white dome. That's us. If somebody does come in after dark, we do ask that you be very careful with your headlights, because if people are enjoying observing or if they're taking photographs, the headlights just obliterate everything.
Yes, they do. That's star party etiquette.
Yes. But other than that, just, come on in, look for the dome, and we'll be there. And I've brought with me, instead of our big telescopes, our little mascot, which is a representation of our club logo, which is Isaac Newton's original reflector. So this is our official outreach mascot for the club.
Terrific.
If it's good weather, he might even be there.
Let's hope so. Now, Tim, anything at Kensington?
So Kensington is just a daytime event. We don't have anything in Kensington after 4 p.m. So after 4 p.m., the club takes a brief break, and then we go across the street from Kensington over to Island Lake. And Gordon will talk about Island Lake.
All right, Gordon, so what are the activities that the Ford Club has planned at Island Lake?
I mean, first start out with saying, well, we're starting at about 7 o'clock in the evening, which by April 20th, we're into daylight savings time, so it's still daylight. But I bring that out because one of the prime reasons of our beginners' nights, and by the way, we do these starting in April, then one in May, June, July, August, and then in October of the year. So once a month, somewhere around the first quarter moon of each month is when we have these events.
And that information will be on the club website?
Yes.
Okay.
One of the prime reasons for this beginner's night is we invite the public, anybody who's interested in astronomy, who may have just purchased a telescope, has had a telescope sitting in their closet that they didn't know how to use, bring it on out, and we will try and match you up with somebody who has a similar type scope and show you how to do the basics and how to get it working. A lot of times that works out best during the daylight hours when we can see what the equipment looks like and how it's operating. And then as we get into the evening and the sun goes down and the skies will be clear and we can get out under the dark skies and help you find things with your scope, and there'll be other club members there with their own scopes, and so come up and take a look through and see what they're looking at. One thing I've learned over the years that astronomers are always very, very grateful to have somebody as an audience to go look through the gear. We love showing off our equipment.
Yes, we do.
That's right.
And so we'll have, again, a number of club members out there with their personal telescopes to allow the public views of a number of different nighttime objects.
Galaxies, globular clusters, whatever's up in the night sky, that's what we're going to be shooting at. Planets. And we'll be there until people start thinning out. Now it is a state park, so you do need to have the little P on your license plate or pay the daily admission into the park. But other than that, there's no admission fee. The park does close at 10 o'clock, but we have access to the gate and can get it open and closed. So non-club members who are there, we will escort them out after 10 o'clock, so nobody's going to get locked into the park and have to spend the night.
All right, well, Kensington Metro Park is off of I-96, and Island Lake, as Tim mentioned, is just across the freeway. That's off of the Kensington Road exit.
Yeah, Kensington Road, it's about a quarter of a mile, round figures, south of Grand River.
Grand River parallels the freeway at
Right.
that point, yes.
So you pass Grand River, go down about a quarter of a mile, make a left turn into the park, and then we'll be at
Spring Mill.
Spring Mill Pond. Thank you.
There we
I
go.
drew a blank there.
And that's about 3 miles into the park,
Right.
so they're going to have a little bit of a drive, but you'll see it just as you come out of the trees a little bit, look off to the left. You'll see
Right.
the sign Spring Mill Pond, and I believe we're at the second picnic area?
Yeah, you'll pass the pavilion, and we tend to gather beyond the pavilion area there.
All right. Well, it sounds like this is going to be a really exciting event. Hopefully, we will have some clear skies, and there will be information available on the various club websites. We're going to have that information up on our website for Astronomy for Everyone. Hopefully, it's going to be clear. I know it seems the past few years we've been a little hit or miss. Some years it's been great, and other years maybe not so much. But
I guess I will point out that our event goes on whether it's cloudy or clear. We will have some people there. Now, if it's raining, things we will tend to pull a plug.
this is at Island Lake
yes.
in the
Right.
evening.
Right.
How about Warren?
We will also have people at Stargate Rain or Shine.
Okay, so you'll have that opportunity there to come out, and if you can't see anything, at least hopefully learn how to set up your telescope so you know which end to look through. This can be a problem. I strongly recommend that everybody come out to one of these venues, either the Kensington Metro Park out near Brighton, the Camp Rotary, not Camp Rotary anymore, but
Rotary Park.
Rotary Park.
In Wolcott Mill Metro
that is
Park.
in Macomb County. Just head out Van Dyke Avenue, I think would be the best approach, M53 freeway. And
Van Dyke, yeah, you can take various ways to get to 29 Mile, but we're 29 Mile
And you're
east of Van Dyke.
east of Van Dyke, and just look for the signs. And of course, then with the with Island Lake, we've already described where that location is. We really look forward to having you come see us either daytime or nighttime or both. It'll be a great time. It's a great family event, so bring the kids. It's a great way to get the kids excited in the hobby and science of amateur astronomy. If you have any questions, please send us an email. You can see our address down there at the bottom of your screen. We'll be glad to respond to those, of course. And coming up in just a moment is What's Up in the Night Sky for April 2013. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on Astronomy Day.
What's up in the night sky for April 2013? The month starts out on the 3rd with the third quarter moon. That should be easy to remember. And the third quarter moon is visible in the after midnight to morning, which means that the early evening is darker. And on the 10th, we have the new moon, and the whole night is darker. On the 18th, we have the first quarter moon, which is up from noon until about midnight. And then finally, on the 25th, we have the full moon, and it's up all night long. Now, the Lyrid meteor shower is on the 22nd. That is the peak of the Lyrid meteor shower. And to see the Lyrid meteor shower, all you have to do is look up. See as much of the sky with just your eyes as you can. Now, Astronomy Day is on the 20th, and you should be able to see Lyrid meteors on Astronomy Day. So that was the Saturday. The peak is then on Monday. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the planets that are visible in the evening, and that's Jupiter. And Jupiter on the 14th is in Taurus, and it's in Taurus all month, but it's on the 14th, it's in Taurus with the moon. And neither Jupiter nor the moon are hard to spot, but Taurus is next to Orion, and Orion's belt points more or less straight at Taurus by just going to the right. You can follow the stars of the belt to the right. Also in April we have Saturn, and Saturn has its opposition in April. So Saturn is visible all night long. Saturn is a wonderful planet. With a telescope you see the rings and so on. Here it's shown on the 25th with the moon. So neither Saturn nor the moon are hard to spot. But here you get to see both of them next to each other. So Saturn is technically in Libra. That's the constellation below. Virgo is above, but it'll be hard to miss because, at least on the 25th, because of the moon. Now, if you look more or less straight overhead in April, you'll see the constellation Leo. That's Leo the Lion. And Leo the Lion has a backwards question mark, and at the very bottom of the question mark you have the bright star Regulus. And to the right of Leo, or the way that Leo is facing, right, the tail is the triangle off to the left, Leo is facing to the right here, and it's facing Cancer the Crab. Now, Cancer the Crab does not have very many bright stars. In fact, there is a globular cluster called the Beehive Cluster, which is sometimes thought of as easier to spot than the whole constellation of Leo, of Cancer. The Beehive Cluster is halfway between Regulus in Leo and Pollux from the constellation Gemini, the twins, on the other side of Cancer. And that is what's up in the night sky for April 2013. The night sky is the greatest free show on Earth.